It's been a tradition from the beginning of the National Memorial Day concert to salute all the men and women from every branch of our armed services. Please welcome the Chiefs of the Military Services.
And now, Maestro Jack Everly, our orchestra and military choruses, perform the Armed Forces Medley. Whether here or watching at home, if you are able, please stand when your service is presented. The United States Coast Guard.
United States Space Force.
United States Air Force.
United States Navy.
United States Marines.
United States Army.
Evening, everyone. Doug had a little thing here he wanted to play instead of our normal opening on our Memorial Day. Thanks, Doug.
You know, I talked to you earlier about it, but go ahead.
First, I'll go through. We want to thank all our vets, all our veterans. Today's about some of your fallen comrades. We appreciate everything. Want to thank the military serving overseas and homeland. Thank all our first responders, police, fire, EMS, doctors, and nurses, and tow truck drivers. Yeah, we've become in this habit. Me and you were talking. Happy Memorial Day, and yeah, they didn't get us, Greg. It's a wonder. They held my twit card up 13 weeks over this show, I believe, but technically, it's really not a happy day. I mean, it's an observance of people who lost their lives protecting our freedoms. That goes way back, Doug. I mean,
well, the guys that I have working are teenagers that absolutely have no idea what this means other than they get a day off school and they party. That's what it means to them. And something about the people in the military. That's what I was told today.
Yeah.
That's what they know.
I mean, we have cookouts and different stuff. I used doing that, but it was, Memorial Day is more about the.
But you knew what it was about.
It's you. If anything, people don't understand. You celebrate the honor of them people that lost their lives defending our freedom, and a lot of people don't get that. They don't understand.
No.
And the sad part of it is, I'll go into something that we've been preaching ever since we come on. Our schools aren't teaching that like they used to.
Right. You remember in school around Memorial Day, they would always talk about it. And
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are off Monday. Now remember, Memorial Day is about people who sacrificed.
They don't know.
Nothing. No, it's almost like forbidden. We're going to talk about something else that's forbidden, but go ahead.
It's all part of this generation. I don't even know what you'd call it that we're going into. Schools don't want to teach history. Schools don't want to teach why, what, where, when. They want to delete history. A lot of the Civil War stuff's deleted out, Doug, because of the woke movement. I'm pretty sure you don't hear how this United States was formed, about our founding forefathers fighting the British.
Right.
And it's a shame. It's a shame that one half of the United States knows what this is about. The other half of the United States doesn't have a clue, and the schools aren't going to teach them.
No, you're right.
And that's what the only way a young person learns is if he has parents that still go by the code, I guess, of what it's all about. There's nothing really happy about this day. People lost their lives defending our freedoms.
Right.
And that's what this day is about. The fallen soldiers, the soldiers that went through atrocities. I went to the parade this morning, and the veterans, Ohio vets, right there in Sandusky on P50. They had guys coming down, and they were on their scooters, whatever you want to call them. And you're looking at them guys, and they're throwing candy out. And I actually sat there and thinking, these kids don't have a clue.
Right.
People went through.
Right.
So they could sit on this street and watch a parade. And it's sad, but,
That's where we're at.
It's other things. We're a lot worse things going on than even that, though.
Yeah, And you know, and when I was watching that, I was looking at some of them guys, some older guys, and thinking, I can't even imagine what they're thinking about what our country's turned into today.
Adam ain't going to talk about it.
That right, right,
I've had conversations with veterans, and some had been in combat about the burning of the flag. And a lot of the same veterans that were in combat and everything else said, listen, I don't agree with it. I don't know how I'd act if somebody did it in front of me, but I fought and served for people's freedom in this country, so I'm not going to speak against it.
right.
That's freedom. Thinking, man, you know, I didn't even serve, and I can tell you right now, it burns me to no end. You know, when I see somebody burning the flag, I'm thinking, you know, if you want to burn the flag, fine, burn it. And then we'll get you an airplane ticket to whatever other country you want to go to.
Right.
And then,
Right.
you know, you want to come back, you know, tough. You burnt that flag because you don't believe in the United States. You know, go somewhere else, see how shitty it actually is. You know, then you got people that come into this country, immigrants, whether they're legal or illegal, and they want to change things and don't believe in this, you know, we need this. We can't, you know, you offended me by this. You're offending me. Well, go back to your own damn country. If it was so great there, why'd you come here? We didn't ask you to come.
Right.
You know, don't come over and try to change our rules. If I go to Afghanistan, Iran, any of these places, Doug, Russia, China, you know, North Korea, you know, I don't like the way you're doing things here. It's against what I believe in. I want to change this. What do you think's going to happen to me? You know, beheaded, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's coming. Someday.
You know, I get that question asked a lot,
What?
especially from kids. Did you kill anybody? And I don't answer that question. That was to Mark, because he said a lot of people don't talk about it, and I'm one of them. I won't.
Well, the thing of it is this. You talk to a lot of these people have been in the shit. You know, Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, you know. There's some left that were in Korea. They're not going to talk about it much. They're not going to talk about it. When they do start talking about it, you see their eyes glaze over. They just shut up and walk away. Don't
Right.
pry.
Right.
They seen shit that, you know, hell. They seen hell.
Yeah.
They lived, you know, you talk about going to hell. These people lived in hell for a certain amount of time when they were in that.
Yeah, I think Philip's story was pretty powerful.
Yeah. I mean, Curtis told us one section about when he got hurt. When they're out on patrol, how they had to sleep on the roofs and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm sure Curtis seen a lot of things that would, and Craig, his twin brother, that make you sick to your stomach, you know. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you know, I mean, some people left it there. When they come back, that was it. They left it there, but unfortunately, some people couldn't leave it there. It stayed with them, and you know, I'm not going to go off right off the bat on the show, but our government nowadays don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care. You take people and you make them do bad things, you know, to protect our freedoms and everything else. And then when you bring them back, well, all right, go be a good product to society. It doesn't
Right.
work like that all the time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
It-
and then now we got all this crazy shit going on.
Yeah.
That you didn't fight for that.
Right.
Yeah. All
It's
right.
got to make some of the guys puke.
Well, Memorial Day to everyone.
Yeah, I hope you had a good day. Coming to a close, so reality tomorrow.
Back to the grind. The day off's over. Do you know Jim Jordan?
Yes.
Well, and this is going to be long, folks, but I got to play it all because he absolutely annihilates this lady. And it is about everything that we just talked about. He goes through pretty much everything. He gets into the Second Amendment. He gets into the First Amendment. He's talking to the Attorney General's, whatever she is. And this is how if you listen to her, this is how our country is being run now. But this is eye-opening. So Jim Jordan, he's a representative from
Ohio.
So here we go. Listen, it just goes through everything we just talked about.
Ms. Clark, are you sure that you don't know anything about Missouri v. Biden? You don't know anything about that case?
Thank you for the opportunity to clarify. This is a case being handled by our civil division, and I assure you, Chairman, that the Justice Department...
Have you read the opinion?
The Justice Department is compliant
No,
with
I didn't ask that. Did you read the opinion, either from the Western District of Louisiana or the Fifth Circuit opinion?
I gleaned the ruling, but it's not a Civil Rights Division case.
Well, which is it?
Chairman.
Because, first of all, when Mr. Bishop asked, you said you didn't know one darn thing about it. Now you're saying you gleaned or you glanced or what?
I appreciate the opportunity to clarify. The Civil Division is handling this case, and the department is compliant with the court's
Well, First Amendment rights
injunction.
are pretty fundamental rights. That's something you don't think the Civil Rights Division should be involved in. This is censorship.
Absolutely, Chairman. The First
But you're not?
Amendment is a bedrock principle of our democracy.
Well, let me go a little different route then. Do politics drive the decisions at the Justice Department today?
Politics have no place in the work of the Civil Rights Division.
3 months
or the
ago,
Justice
3 months
Department.
ago, the New Mexico governor announced a 30-day ban on citizens' right to carry a concealed firearm in Albuquerque and the county that Albuquerque sits in. What did the Justice Department do when the governor did that unconstitutional order? What did the DOJ do in response to that unconstitutional action from the governor of New Mexico?
I am generally aware of the matter that you are referring to, but gun control is not a core issue that we handle.
Second
in the
Amendment, a
Civil Rights
fundamental right
Division.
like the First Amendment, it's pretty important, isn't it?
These are very important issues to the department.
Well, tell me what the Justice Department did when this happened, when the governor imposed this unconstitutional ban.
I'm happy to bring your question back to my colleagues.
You don't know that one either.
The criminal division and the civil
You
division.
don't know about Missouri v. Biden. You don't know what the DOJ did in response to the governor of New Mexico's action. Well, here's what the county sheriff said. He held a press conference saying that this thing was unconstitutional, unenforceable, and incapable of stopping and curbing gun violence. The New Mexico Attorney General, who's a Democrat, said this thing will not have any impact on public safety and does not pass constitutional muster. So when the Democrat Attorney General of New Mexico said it doesn't fit the Constitution, but you guys at DOJ don't do a darn thing? Is that what you're telling me?
Politics have no place in the work of the Justice Department, Chairman, but...
Are you aware of anything the Justice Department did to that unconstitutional order from the governor of New Mexico?
Not in the Civil Rights Division, Chairman, but I can
Okay,
certainly
Roder,
bring your
you're an
question.
important person in the Justice Department. Did the Justice Department do anything?
Yes, we enforce the laws that Congress gave us, Chairman.
No, in this case, did the Justice Department do anything?
I will bring that question back to
I'll
my
give you the answer.
colleagues.
They didn't. They didn't file an amicus. They didn't put any statement of interest. They didn't do a darn thing. which gets back to the point I think Mr. McClintock was making earlier. It shows, I think, how political you are, because when Texas passed a pro-life bill on September 1st, 2021, 8 days later, the Department of Justice announces an investigation into that bill. Now, this is what amazes me. That's a bill that actually passed the state House, passed the state Senate, was signed by the governor, and you guys are in there contesting that 8 days later. But you have something in New Mexico, which is an obvious direct assault on the Second Amendment, and it's an order from the governor. It didn't go through the legislature. The governor does it, and the Department of Justice does nothing.
The Civil Rights Division is deeply committed to enforcing the laws that this body gave us and committed to standing up for the rights, the civil rights of all Americans, Chairman.
Well, you can say it, but based on some of your other answers, not knowing the first thing about Missouri v. Biden, not knowing what, if anything, was done, because nothing was actually done, relative to the governor's unconstitutional order regarding New Mexico citizens and residents and Americans' Second Amendment rights. This is why we're so darn concerned. I appreciate the chairman having this hearing. With that, I got 38 seconds. I'd be happy to yield to the gentleman from Arizona.
I think to the chair of the Judiciary Committee.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Colley.
Thank the gentleman for yielding. Ms. Clark, who's Ava Edel?
Chairman, that is not a name that I'm familiar with.
Well, I'll try to familiarize you with her. She's an 87-year-old pro-life advocate who survived a communist concentration camp in Yugoslavia after World War II that you guys have charged under the FACE Act for praying and singing in front of an abortion clinic. Is that the best use of the Justice Department's time and energy?
As noted, the FACE Act has been is a law that this body passed in response to efforts to obstruct access to reproductive health clinics, threats of violence, acts of violence. We follow the facts and apply the law without fear or favor, Chairman.
Really? I think we've heard a lot of that today about how if you're pro-life, you get the full treatment. Just ask Ava Edel, 87-year-old concentration camp survivor. But if you're on the other side, after the Dobbs decision, it's a different issue. In spite of what you've said, that you apply it equally across the board. How about your decision to file a lawsuit against SpaceX? Can you talk to me about that?
Yes, Chairman.
Let me ask it this way first. Did Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter have anything to do with the Justice Department's decision to file that lawsuit against SpaceX?
The investigation into SpaceX was open during the last administration, and we filed an administrative action under the Immigration and Nationality Act, an important law passed by this body with bipartisan support and signed into law by President Reagan.
So what are you alleging that SpaceX did wrong?
In this case, we allege that the company is not compliant with the anti-discrimination provisions of the Immigration and Nationality Act. This is a law that has been—
Who are they discriminating against?
Here they are discriminating against people who have received refugee and asylum status by our federal courts under the INA.
They're discriminating against refugees and asylum seekers, is that right?
No, Chairman, against people who have received refugee status and asylum status by our federal courts and who enjoy equal standing under federal law to U.S. citizens and naturalized citizens. The law requires equal treatment of these individuals.
And you're saying that SpaceX did not hire, is that appropriate, did not hire enough refugees or people who've been granted asylum? Is that what you're asserting in the lawsuit?
And that they discourage those people from applying for any job, whether it's for a custodial position, office clerk, someone who works in a kitchen facility, all the way up through engineering.
So you're suing, I just want to cut to the chase. You're suing SpaceX because they hired too many Americans, too many citizens, not enough people who are refugees or people who've been granted asylum.
This investigation—
And you waited to sue. This investigation started 3 years ago. I know the facts. It started 3 years ago. And yet you bring the lawsuit after Mr. Musk purchases Twitter, now X. Is that right?
We apply the laws that this body gave us without fear or favor.
And Mr. Musk, his assertion is that they're dealing with national security type information at SpaceX, and that's why he's even posted this before you brought the lawsuit. He said this. That's why they focus on hiring people who have a green card or are American citizens. And you guys say this is something we need to go after SpaceX because they're not hiring enough Americans, and we need to charge Ava Edel, 87-year-old concentration camp survivor. That's what the Justice Department and the Biden administration needs to do. But oh, by the way, we don't know anything about Missouri v. Biden. We didn't weigh in on the issue where a governor of a state told the citizens, they're American citizens, you cannot exercise your Second Amendment rights contrary to the law, contrary to what the Supreme Court has said. And you're trying to tell us today that the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department is not political. Frankly, I find it almost laughable that you're making that argument because anyone with common sense and any objectivity can see you guys are definitely political. With that, I yield back and thank the gentleman who's left for yielding time.
Mic drop.
Exactly. That was powerful.
And you know, we bitched. I can remember when the New Mexican governor, I still bring it up once in a while. She put it in under a health order, executive order, health order. That's how she put it in. And she signed an executive order, health order, without any legislation with it or anything.
Right.
Banned guns.
Right.
And we said, here it goes.
And it happened again, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
You know, so, you know, it ain't no worse than our governor, Mike DeWine. The DNC failed to file in time for Joe Biden to be on the ballot in November. So our legislation in Ohio is like tough shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what? It's over. You know, there's a chance he won't be on a ballot in Ohio. And I just read where Governor DeWine was very upset that even the Republicans wouldn't vote it in, allow him to be on a ballot, and they need to act on this. And I'm thinking, what? If you didn't show you weren't a rhino, you sure did now.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
Because if it was the other way around, it'd be it's tough shit. You didn't file in time. If it was Trump, sorry about your luck. You know, they didn't follow the rules. They didn't follow the timeline, and now they just think that it's okay, and he's still going to be on a ballot. And our governor, who's a Republican, wants him on a ballot. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Why are they so special? You know, if you didn't do what you're supposed to do and not in a timeline, sorry about your luck. I bet you he's on a ballot.
Oh, I agree. It's going to happen.
I bet you DeWine signs an executive order. Y'all keep up on that in Ohio. Greg Daniels, he's from Georgia, but
the thing is what they're doing now, and especially you get to the Second Amendment, is they're burying these bills, laws, whatever, into other bills. So, for example, in New York, they passed a bill, and in the bill, it's called Sporting Range Good Neighbors Act. So, if there's a shooting range, based anywhere in the proximity to wetlands or open water sources, it's not going to happen. What is the bill titled? This is in New York. Environmental law.
So
See how
you
it
just-
connects?
if you look right, if you're looking at bills and you see environmental law, you look right by it looking for a gun bill.
Right.
They,
Right.
they do it all the time. They do it in Washington. We found
Yes.
bills where it states so much and then boom.
Yep.
Read further and what's this doing in here?
Right. And there was some stuff that passed that we didn't know until remember the one that passed early in the morning.
Yeah,
Some
1 in the
bill
morning.
that
1 in the morning. It's a joke. State by
it
state.
is.
They don't have to. The bill that went in February, that's sitting up in Washington, February of 2021, the gun bill, just sitting there. They don't have to pass it because each state's trying to dismantle the Second Amendment state by state. Now, this is where I get pissed. Governor Abbott would barricade up with the razor fences. Now all of a sudden, they can ruin your Second Amendment state by state, and this administration's go, well, the state governs themselves, and throw that bullshit line at you. But Governor Abbott does that, and the federal government says, oh, no, you can't do that. We govern that. So they're picking and choosing what they fucking want to step in on over the state. And that's not right. It's not right. How about when the Black Lives Matter movement protests come out? And out in Seattle, where they took a whole block plus a police station. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
The chop zone, I believe they called it. And Trump wanted to bring in military and stuff. And, well, it's a state issue. It's a state issue. You can't bring in federal. But, boy, fucking Biden's threatening to bring in the United States military into Texas. How can he have, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, peaceful protest where they put pellets of brick on every corner.
So Biden also he invoked executive privilege to stop the Robert Hur interview tapes from the House. The House subpoenaed those. He invoked it. This was on about his documents that he had at his house. It was the interview with him.
Well, then why wasn't Trump allowed to invoke it?
Because he's not the president of the United States.
No, but he's former president.
Well, he's not the president.
See, that ain't right. He shouldn't be allowed to do that because it's against him.
Right. You would. I can see them invoking things over security and things like that. But if it's about you and what you did, I think that it needs to be deferred. But we can't defer anything to our vice president. Now,
Jesus Christ.
okay, so yeah, you might think that this was set up, but it wasn't. It was actual whatever story time for her. She's going to explain what the Anti-Inflation Act does. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, put your thinking caps on because she was an attorney at one time, so she goes through.
He was a prosecutor, district attorney.
Right. Okay, so here's her explaining this. This guy will kind of comment on it.
to build back up our roads and our bridges, our sidewalks, to invest in a clean energy economy.
This woman is a wizard. You know who we're talking about. The Vice President, Kamala Harris. She was hired because she is black and a woman. She was polling at 0 in her own party when they took her on for the job that she's not qualified for. And listen to her explain the Inflation Reduction Act and what they are doing with money right now. And then do you wonder why your Crunchwrap Supreme costing a little bit more these days?
The president and I, because of the Inflation Reduction Act, the Infrastructure Act, we are dropping trillions of dollars on the streets of America right now to build back up our roads and our bridges, our sidewalks, to invest in a clean energy economy, to deal with the climate crisis in a way that is about building up adaptation and resilience. Well, a business like Mr. Phelps's business is going to make what we plan to do out of Washington, D.C. real on the streets of America. We have now proposed that if you are the child of parents who, or you were raised in a family where the folks who raised you were not homeowners, when you want to go buy a home, you will be entitled to a $25,000 grant toward down payment for a home.
She's dropping trillions of dollars on the streets via something called the Inflation Reduction Act. And then you wonder why things cost more. First off, they think that they just make up it. Well, in essence, they do, right? Because they print dollars. We're dropping trillions of dollars on the streets. You person watching this on the other side of the screen, are you seeing any of that?
Trillions of dollars are being dropped on the street. How does that help in your inflation? Like when you go to the store to buy eggs, did you pick up any of that money that's on the street?
Anybody over on the right side get 25,000 put down on a house? Where the fuck's that?
If those folks that raised you, whatever they are.
So when I get off this show tonight, I should call my dad and say, "Hey, bastard, you cost me $25,000
because you owned your house."
Wow, because you owned a house, went to work every day, busted your ass, raised us kids where we didn't need anything. We didn't need food, we didn't need clothes, didn't need shelter. Shame on you. Cost me 25 grand. Give me a fuck. Are you serious?
That's
what they're saying.
And that's reducing the inflation.
This
that's
stuff,
what she's saying.
They couldn't get to retributions. It died. Retribution, or what was that? Retributions. We're going to pay African Americans
reparations. Yeah,
reparations. I'm sorry, reparations. My mind's. They couldn't get that. They're going to get it one way or the other, Doug. They're going to get it. Now they're going to get it $25,000 increments put down on a house.
Well, even you as a whitey can get them.
Yeah.
Well, you can't now, but
I'm not allowed to get it.
No.
I'm pretty sure most people on the right side ain't going to get it.
But you could go get a piece of the road and take it in because it's about $2 trillion.
I don't know. I'm not seeing no more construction this year than I've seen in the last 8 years.
You're right. They do a little section here and there, and
I don't know if anybody else is. I'm not seeing. And what's messed up about this whole thing? We got barges hitting bridges almost once a week, once a month or whatever. We got ships hitting bridges. And now what are they? Well, look at the infrastructure we rebuilt. Well, maybe you should investigate why that them barges all of a sudden are hitting all these bridges and all these ships, are having these. Maybe you should investigate that.
How come they're not sprinkling $2 trillion over there?
I don't know. I'd be a happy man if I was walking out the sidewalk seeing $100 bills falling out of the sky. I don't know about the rest of you.
Exactly.
Here we go with the Mize for President thing. She had a shirt made up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. Get some pictures. We'll get it on the CD Noble show. Send it over to Jim Jordan.
I couldn't be the president. I would be, I don't know. There'd be some things change. You know, I can tell you right now, there'd be some things change. We'd start the pipeline back up. We'd start drilling. We'd start drilling again. We would start shutting our borders down. We'd start catching some of these people that be in this country. They'd be getting caught, Doug, and being deported or prison.
That's what it always was.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you this. Although Ukraine would be a different situation too. North Korea would be a different situation. You know, they're
What
building
about Israel.
Israel. I can tell you right now, I'd look at them and say, do what you got to do. I'm not giving you nothing, but do what you got to do.
Okay. So Biden's National Security Council advisor, we can't go against Israel until re-election. Israel lies, bombs, and kills all these kids.
What?
Hold on. Project Veritas caught this guy, this National Security Council advisor. It's hard to hear because they're in a restaurant, but they have the word, they have it all, whatever that's called, closed caption. So you can actually and listen to what this guy says.
You're not going to continue to lie and bomb and kill all these kids without facing serious consequences. But that is a second term decision to bend with, not a first term, you know.
So we can't say now because he'll probably lose support from the Jews.
Enough support that we can't get 270 electoral votes. There are political calculations that are being made that I'm not making. That, you know, whether how do you that, like, and like if I didn't win again, he could be much more forthright about saying no. Like, there's such a political risk to even say what Biden said earlier this week. Like, we're not going to give you more bombs.
We're not going to supply the weapons and the artillery shells used.
The Pentagon confirmed a U.S. shipment of 3,500 bombs was paused.
So he has to keep things quiet for now.
Yeah.
Are you under Jake Sullivan? Like right under him?
So he's the National Security Advisor. My boss is the Deputy National Security Advisor. But she's the Deputy National Security Advisor for cyber. Cyber has become so important that we have a deputy who's like, you know. And so I'm under her.
I don't even know what to say. I know what to say, but it's what this administration's always done, Doug, since they got in.
Yeah.
Say what you might want to hear and do the total opposite behind the scenes.
So he even said it in his second term. President can really kind of do whatever because they're not going to run again.
Look at what Obama did.
Right.
Second term. Whew. You know.
Right.
You know, geez. See, Biden will start World War III if he gets elected to a second term.
I agree with that.
I'm telling you. In my mind, World War III's holding off to see who gets elected president.
Well, that could be true. That could be true.
Because, you know, Trump comes back in, he'll come in, he'll clean some of this shit up quickly. And that's all it is, Kale. It's, you know, he isn't running this country. You know, he's not running the country.
He's what they call him, a feeble man with a bad memory. What they call him? Oh my gosh.
He's not running the country. She's not running the country. You know, it's, you know, I don't know. That's why we're in bad shape. The only reason World War III ain't started is because they're afraid of who might get elected. I firmly believe he's going to cause some kind of shit within the next 2 to 3 months to where there's a total uprising, chaos, whether we do go to war with somebody or not, and declare a state emergency. And what do they call that when they keep us all locked down?
Lockdown.
No. I can't remember. My mind's shot right now. But yeah, we'll be house arrest pretty much, you know.
Right.
It's yeah, right on the top of Childress's little thing there.
He was there?
Yeah. Trump flew in there. Went up on top of Childress's martial law. There you go, Mark. We'll be under martial law. He was sitting on Richard Childress's in Pitt Road.
Oh, how cool is that?
Huh?
How cool is that?
This NASCAR off. Richard Childress to the holler, please.
So, the country of California, they have decided that they're going to go to $20 an hour for fast food workers.
Not 50.
No, not 50, not yet. But they're better than the last chant that they had. That went viral.
Yeah.
So there's a guy that's pretty upset because he's paying $25. Now, this is in the country of California, but it's coming here to the U.S. Paying $25 for a 40-piece chicken nugget meal, complete with 2 large fries.
That's where it's going to go.
No drink.
Listen, I don't eat much fast food no more, Doug. Let me tell you guys on the right, and I know every one of you is going to agree with me. You go to McDonald's, you and your girlfriend, you and your wife, you and your boyfriend, whatever, you and your husband, just the two of you, you're spending $25-30. Big Mac meals, whatever. You're spending $20 to $30 easily. You know, you add a couple apple pies on that, you're spending $30. You take 1 or 2 kids with you, like my granddaughters, I'm at $35-38. I'm not doing that no more. You go to Cracker Barrel, Applebee's, Bob Evans, Diana's Deli, place like that, and spend $40-50 and get a way better meal. You know, $55 even. I don't even care. You get a way better meal. I'm doing that.
Imagine being in the country of California feeding 4 of you. It would be $100.
That's why they're fleeing California.
Yeah, but remember, there's an exit tax.
You're right, Greg, and that's I'm one of them. I ain't made of money, but I'm one of them that would rather sit down at one of them places. Huh?
Yes, you
and,
are.
and have a lot better food service and everything than to go through a drive-through and maybe $10 less with a lot worse food. I mean, come on, a Big Mac patty's only that big around anymore. Next time you get a Big Mac, take the bun off. The patties, I'm telling you, it's half of what it used to be. The patty when I was a kid stuck outside the bun, Doug. Now you got to dig through a bunch of lettuce and everything to find the patty.
Right.
You know, it's paper thin. It's looked like they took it and had a big hamburger loaf and took it through a slicer, you know, paper thin. It's terrible. And I'm telling you, Burger King isn't no different.
Right.
You know, Wendy's is a little better, but not much. You know, you're right. Yeah. And I just seen an article the other day. They're having a war now. Burger King and McDonald's. Now they're going back in price because since the pandemic, they only in food, Cal. But they're since the pandemic, since 2019, their prices have increased 35%. Now their sales have gone down. So now they're backing the prices down. I don't know, McDonald's got something for a week where it's only so much, and Burger King and everything else. And it's too late. It's too late. Where I was kind of done with McDonald's, I still stop there every once in a while because I do like their chicken nuggets. But where I stopped going inside is when they have them kiosks that you order yourself and pay everything. And you know what? I'm done with that. That's why I call, Debbie calls and orders the groceries, and we go pick them up. One of the main reasons is because I don't get a price reduction when I have to check myself out and pay.
Exactly. You're not being paid to do that.
Right. And all you're doing is knocking another worker out, which in turn you're up in your profits. And I understand business are in business to make money and profit, but you know, I mean, I don't get a reduction. Now, when I call an order, when you call an order,
yeah,
they have to have people employed to go pick your order out.
Right. Right. And bring it out to you.
Bring it out to you. So
in the whole self checkout, I think it has its purpose, not 30 of them, but you know, where you picked up something and you're on your way out, one or two items, but anything else should be through the register. But they're taking them out. They did say they're taking them out. Don't say.
How many of you remember when they used to have checkout lines and one or two of them had a big sign, 5 items or less?
Right. Right. Yep. So minimum wage, federal minimum wage is $7.25. There, I don't know any state that is at $7.25. I think everybody's above that. As long as you stay above that as a state, you're fine. Well, now this is for the small business people. By 2029, which is 5 years from now, they want the federal minimum wage to $17 an hour, meaning that the state has to be at 17 or above. So, for example, you pay concession people at the track.
I don't know. I don't handle that department.
Well, I mean, they get paid, I think, hourly. I don't know.
I don't know.
They're at minimum. Ohio minimum wage right now is $10.45. In July, it goes to $10.50. So in 5 years, it's going to be $17 or more. So what does that do to pricing?
Let me ask you this. I get that part of it. I understand where you're going with this. But, or you could go to the grocery store even 4 years ago and buy $150 worth of food and be happy. Now, that same amount of food costs you $250 to 300. So what do you expect these people to do?
I don't know that the federal minimum wage should go up that high. You know, maybe there's a medium there, you know, maybe $9 an hour, $10. But 17, that means that Ohio is going to be at 18 to $19. Well, right now they're $3 and some cents above federal minimum wage. So if they stay there, then I'm going to be paying $20 and some cents per hour per employee.
Here's the question I got to ask. How did McDonald's, Arby's, Wendy go down 250 in Sandusky during the pandemic? We're paying 20 an hour. We're paying 18 an hour. Signs right out on it. Apply within. We'll pay you daily. 18 an hour, 20 an hour. How did they stay open through that time period, paying them people that money?
Right. You're right. But think about, trying to think of something in Sandusky, but think about me. In 5 years, I'm going to be paying $20-some an hour per employee.
I get what you're saying. See, that's what I mean. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, because your fast food restaurants or your chains, they got that money in the bank.
It's a franchise. And it is. And the problem, Greg, the problem what happened, what I've seen and what I'm seeing when I do go to these places, there's no it's 75% adults. You know, 25 to 30% are your younger kids, where it used to be 30 years ago, you pull into McDonald's, I'm telling you what, 80% of it was high school kids that just got out of high school.
Yep.
Trying to make, now it's the opposite. What you see now, in my opinion, Facebook, my opinion is you see people that have retired and drawn Social Security go back to work at McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, stuff like that, because one, the kids aren't doing it. Kids aren't going to work. Or if they do take a job there, well, you're working Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Well, Thursday I got to play on a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Call of Duty Group War, so I can't be here, and this, that, and the other. And on the other side of it, these people that are older, that were comfortable 5 years ago on their Social Security, can't make it now because the way everything in inflation went up. So they went to work there so they could make it. And then you got our government now saying, we give you a 8% raise on your Social Security. What they're not telling me is they up to Medicare 10%. So let's say you got a $75, $50 raise a month, but your Medicare now costs you $60, $70 more than it did. So, it's a sad situation. Well, that's exactly what they're going to try to do. And the sad part of it is all these kids that are 18 to 22, 23 years old, there's so much, if they didn't go to college, there's so much going on in the trades industry and everything else that we're hurting. Greg, you know this. Chaz, you know it. We're hurting in the trades to have some of these kids come up and take our spots.
Well, think about this.
No, it's going to stay where it's at, Cal. Guarantee you. But
everything's going to go up. So
yeah.
you're not going to be okay with the wage that you're at today.
You're not going to win in this. You're not going to win in this. And this is what they want. Greg hit it on the head. The middle class will be non-existent. Yeah, carpenters hurting, operators are hurting. Hell, the laborers are hurting. Every trade's hurting. Iron workers, millwrights, pile drivers. Greg will tell you, the elevator workers. Good luck. Good luck. Ain't like I don't know. I was talking to Dave Lauer. You know, it ain't like it used to be where when you were 18 years old, graduated, you had two choices. Go to college, probably would stay on your parents' insurance for a certain amount of time while you were in college. Or if you didn't go to college, you were off your parents' insurance. You had to go work somewhere, get a job. And
I remember it was college or military.
yeah. Well, up here it was college, military, or trades or industry. And you had General Motors, Ford, and all them up here at the time, you know.
Right.
So, you know, and you know, if you were raised on a farm, you learned how to work at 6 years old, you know, 7 years old. You know, I mean, it's just the way it was. Now, you know, we got a Corey out here that they didn't run a second shift on a Saturday because a lot of the younger guys said, well, we worked overtime through the week. We can't be there Saturday. I was in my 20s and I said that, my dad would have kicked me right in the ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, you go to the grocery store, make you sick. You'll see 25, 28-year-olds, nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with them. Able-bodied, driving a nice car. I've watched them walk out to their cars and go up there and have $300-400 worth of shit.
The
then
thing is,
single parents that are struggling, and if they make so much, they don't get none of that assistance. So the government's forcing them to go back on assistance, Doug. It's all in a grand scheme of things.
The thing is they targeted the fast food industry, which is supposed to be a starter job. Even these people that are in fast food, like McDonald's and all that, they know that. And what would be the reason to leave a $20 an hour job flipping burgers? What's the reason to even excel or try to get out or try to look for a better job? I might as well just stay here and flip a burger for $20.
Yeah, I'd go shovel concrete for 25. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Laborers, trades.
Yeah.
It's more than that, but I mean, most non-union jobs starting out labor and shoveling concrete.
Yeah. Greg and me are on the same page here.
You know, it's a double-edged sword.
It is.
It's a double-edged sword, and all it's going to do is it's going to put a lot of people out of business. I can tell you that.
Well, that's what that whole story was about. Is a lot of places in California are already they're laying off staff already, even before this thing takes place. They're already doing it. And they're already trying to figure out a way to automate it because there's no way they can stay in business.
I get it.
Because we thought
at the end of the day, you have one person to blame. Well, more than one, this whole administration. Yeah. You're right. Hell, I was in labor's 10 years. You used to pour a lot of concrete on the side. You know, it's not easy work. Cal, me and you have talked. In the concrete industry, there's nothing easy, period. It's all bull work. It's hard. But you can make a lot of money, but the problem is now, you got a lot of kids that they don't want to do the hard work because, you know, it's, yeah, and Lord forbid you start yelling at one of them. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Hashtag no bull show.
Big D's Pizza, Dean Henry, Clyde, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got his barbecue show tonight.
Oh, it is Monday, isn't it? Oh, we screwed up. Screwed up last week. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what we were thinking.
And no, the CIA didn't capture us.
Not yet, at least.
Taco salad. Slappy Joe. Doug loves that one.
Yeah, I do.
That looks real good.
Did you have one of these this weekend?
No.
Hmm.
I was a little busy.
Were you a little busy?
Pineapple.
Yes.
That actually looks pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. That's
Full meal deal.
Is that the spaghetti or the lasagna?
Lasagna.
Okay, there. Oh, I see it on top now. I need to get one of them. Man,
One of those.
Yeah, them fries look good, dude. Big Nut.
The Big Nut Burger.
Them look good.
Yeah. And it all can be yours at Big D's.
Big on
BBQ.
taste, not on price. Clyde, Ohio. Dean Henry, we appreciate him.
We do. He's a pretty nice guy. No peppers.
Been good to us. Yeah, no peppers. He took that one off, Jazz. I think he was tired of me saying no peppers. How many we got in?
All right. We have 8 of 12. The 4 of you, what's up?
Get in. Give you another second. Time of year, I'm getting hungry for perch again, Mark.
Oh, did he bring anything up to the tower? Right?
No, I don't know. I was
What?
a little late. I was a little late.
He said he was going to bring it.
I was incapacitated. Wasn't even supposed to be there.
Friday?
Got in a lot of trouble for being there. From inside. Got in trouble for Saturday one too.
All right. Are we ready? We got 10 now. Oh, here's his excuse.
Yeah, they were. They don't open till 3.
Yeah, should have waited.
Should have waited.
Are we ready to rock and roll with this?
Yeah.
All right. What are they winning?
Large 3-item pizza.
Large 3-item pizza. All right, here we go. Da 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 da. Ba, 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 ba.
Brandon.
There you go. FAHQ.
Brandon Bailey.
You're a winner. Big D's. Clyde, Ohio.
Yeah, Amy, it wasn't. I was. Wasn't good Saturday morning.
Really?
Nor Saturday afternoon when I got to go. Sandusky's racing. I got that. Sometimes I'd rather get cussed out than get the. Because it went right. And you're going to catch it that night or next day or,
Right. Do you have Google on your phone?
Yeah, everybody does.
Well, there's a new feature alerting people to scams. But the only way that can happen is if they use a tool that uses artificial intelligence to listen in on people's phone calls and try to spot if they sound like a scam. Which they're doing that now to some degree, but now it's going to be full force. You're going to know that you're being listened to.
Not me.
Why is that? What do you have that we don't have?
Common sense not to get it.
No, it's just in the update of the phone.
I don't know. You know what? My phone's updated. I don't know about the rest of you. In the last week and a half, I've had 4 or 5 times that it updated.
Mine didn't do that.
Makes me nervous.
So when your phone updates, this thing just comes into the phone. It's made by Google, but it's going to go to your Android or your Apple or whatever during the update so that it can listen in on your call and see if you're being scammed. Is that great?
Yeah, they do, Barbara. They sure do. They're going to hear you. I mean, they're already listening now, Doug.
They are. I know.
It's like I said, you get on the phone with your buddy and try it.
Talk about anything.
Talk about Matthews Ford. You're looking at an F-150 and just go on about it for even 10 minutes or so, and then come to Facebook about an hour or 2 later. And trust me, there'll be an ad in there for Matthews Ford 150 for you.
And then all kinds of 150s, here and there, and people selling them. And yeah, that's what he's
Chaz got it too. Chaz said he's got 3 in the last week or so.
Wow.
Brandon's got it. 3. Mine used to update every month and a half. Once, every month and a half. Now, boom, boom, boom. Then what I get is I'll be talking and all of a sudden nobody's there. I'll go to call them back and I'll have unrestricted network or restricted network.
Right.
I shut my phone down, restart it. And that's happened 2 of the times at least that it's updated 4 times in the last whatever. But, and then it worked fine.
All right. Well, Tinkerbell.
What'd she do?
She's gone.
She's gone now. Why? Him, her?
That's what you do. No. Tinkerbell's gone because Disney believes that it's potentially problematic. And because the character is body conscious and jealous of Peter Pan's attention. Now, are they real?
Yeah.
They are. They're real? She came out in 1953.
Yep. Well,
she's still around and she's still body conscious.
It screwed a lot of kids' heads up from 1953 to now.
When I watched Peter Pan back, when I was a kid, I was like, this woman is crazy. She's jealous of Peter Pan's attention.
Trust me, when I watched the movie Peter Pan, when it had Robin Williams, Julia Roberts, and all them in it, remember when that one came out? Trust me, I didn't sit and look at Robin Williams and say, well, he's a lot hotter than Julia Roberts. Trust me, I was watching Julia Roberts, so she won.
Right.
She won the beauty contest of the movie.
Right. So she's body conscious. And that's not allowed these days. So if you look at your body and you're like, oh man, I got to lose weight, you need to.
Well, I got to ask, when's Miss America contest going on? Miss Universe?
You know what? Do they even do that anymore?
I guess.
I don't even know. So Tinkerbell is not going to be at the meet and greets anymore. They took her off there. So, you know, when you went to the whatever kingdom it was, she would come out and talk and Magic Kingdom. Yeah. She would flutter around and say hi and greet people. She's not allowed to do that anymore.
What about the little kids that love Tinkerbell?
There isn't any.
Really?
She's gone.
No, she won't be at Disney on Ice no more?
Probably not.
Oh my God.
So goodbye,
You know, 4 years
Tinkerbell.
ago- 4 years ago, I remember flipping out.
Now it's just like, oh, really?
It's just like the movie Song of the South. That's gone.
Right. Yep. Yep. You're right.
Because you had Tar Baby.
Right.
So that movie. You know, what? Sleeping Beauty. That's out of the question now because the prince kissed her while she was asleep. Then they
Right.
bitch. Well, he kissed her and who didn't know it was an unwanted kiss. Are you fucking kidding me? It's a cartoon.
Right.
Pepe Le Pew. That's the one that's got me most pissed off. Yosemite Sam. We can't have Yosemite Sam because he's got the pistols and this, that, and the other. We can't have a Roadrunner because Coyote and all that,
Right.
We can't have that. But, we can go on and play Grand Theft Auto where they got hookers and everything else and you get so many points for hitting somebody. And we can play Call of Duty where it graphically shows somebody's head blown up when you shoot them. That's okay, Doug.
Right. Right. But poor Tinkerbell.
Poor Tinkerbell. She really
Body
affects a
conscious.
whole lot of people.
Poor.
Or jealous. What are executives at Disney? Look at that little jealous whore. Who makes that?
Get her out of here.
Get her out.
Tinker, get out. Sorry, Miss Bell. So one of the guys that work for me is going to play football this year. I'll mention it. Steubenville Big Red. He decided to show me this, which flipped me out because I just can't believe this is actually happening in schools. We're getting to our school section now, and then I got another one right after this. So this is the thing for the physical. This is what they have. And what it says there is, how do you identify your gender? Female, male, non-binary, or another gender? This is a school that's supposed to be teaching male and female.
No, we don't.
We don't do that anymore.
No.
I'm old school.
I don't know. Coach, can I play with my tail and cat ears sticking above my helmet?
What if you put non-binary? Or it says or it says another gender. What other gender is there?
Barb just said passports have a gender X option now.
Oh my gosh.
You see flying into Afghanistan or Iraq, they look at your passport. What the hell's gender X? Well, you identify your ass back on that plane. You know? Yeah, can I have a litter box on the sidelines?
Just in case.
I might have an accident.
All right.
Nothing surprises me now.
No, you haven't said, are you effing me?
No, it doesn't surprise me that they're doing this because It just, I'm a potato. It doesn't surprise me.
All right. This one might. Okay. There's two parts to this. We'll play the first part.
Yeah. Right. No.
Okay.
What's all right?
Huh?
Go ahead.
All right. Here we go. I'll let this guy explain it.
There is a 16-year-old high school student in North Carolina. We have to thank our friends over at Lives of TikTok for this story. A 16-year-old high school student who is being punished for using the phrase illegal alien. His name is Christian. If you're watching the show rather than listening to it, you can see a picture of him. Looks like a nice kid, clean-cut kid. His hair's a little bit long, but it's okay. He's a teenage boy. He was suspended for 3 days after using the term illegal alien in an English assignment because the term is supposedly offensive and disrespectful. Now his record could be damaged. This could mess up his GPA. This could mess up his academic record. Who knows? This might affect where he goes to college. Why? Because he used a term that is precise. This is the term that until very, very recently was used by our federal government. It's a term that is quite clinical, actually. Illegal means not legal. Alien means foreigner. So illegal alien refers to people who are foreigners, who are citizens or subjects of a foreign state who come into our country illegally. What term would you like me to use other than illegal alien? What term is that kid supposed to use? Probably what the libs want him to use is a term like an undocumented American. But he's not an American. He's a foreigner. And I'm sure he's got documents in his own country. He just doesn't have any documents here. Or we want you to use the phrase dreamer. Dreamer, I'm a dreamer, man. I have dreams almost every night. But we're not talking about me, right? We're talking about a kind of a different thing here. Well, we want you to use the phrase future citizen, future Democrat voter is actually what they want to use. Well, we utter just some euphemism, right? So the kid, for his English assignment, is using clear, descriptive language rather than mealy-mouthed, prevaricating euphemisms. And the kid is being punished for that. The kid is being punished by his English teacher for writing well. That's where we're at in American education. Great essay, highly recommended if you're a teenage English student or, well, really, if you're of any age, called Politics in the English Language by George Orwell, in which Orwell describes how to write clearly and to write well. We want to use simple words. We want to use evocative words, not mealy-mouthed words. We want good old Anglo-Saxon words, not these kind of squishy Latinate words. And we want to say what we mean, and we want to mean what we say, and we want an economy of language, and we want to be concise, and we want to be clear. That's what that kid did.
I know you missed a lot of that. I'm going to play the second section. Maybe he'll sum it up again.
And he's being punished for it. Our schools go in, and in sex ed, you're taught that boys are girls and girls are boys. That's not sex education, that's sex maleducation. You go in and you learn that America is an evil, rotten, terrible country that was founded to promote genocide, that was founded in 1619. That's not history, that's anti-history. You go in, you learn Common Core math, which is usually not math, it's kind of an anti-math. You go in and you learn that there's no such thing as truth and we can never know anything about truth. That's not philosophy, that's anti-philosophy. And now you go into your English class, you write well, and you get points taken off. And maybe you get a mark on your record. You get suspended from school. That's not English language, that's not writing, that's anti-writing, that's anti-rhetoric, that's anti-oratory. That's going to make you dumb. That's maleducation. And the kid is being punished for trying to learn and to write and to speak well. I hope the kid gets off the hook. Obviously, if there's any way I don't know how to support him other than calling some attention to the story after Libs of TikTok did the same thing. Big problem. You got to pay attention to where your kid's in school, because even if he squeaks by in this sort of thing, He's obviously at a terrible school, whatever school district this is.
He's a target.
Right. Because he said illegal alien in his report.
And the government's used that term.
That's what this guy said.
See, I got booted, people, so y'all know. I got booted during most of it. Pretty much the whole video I got back on quickly.
He was basically just going through the whole thing that this kid did exactly what he should have done. The government uses the word, but he got points off, suspended. It'll screw up his schooling.
Well, the thing of it is he needs to get a good lawyer and fight it. Sue the school. Well, yeah, obvious. But here, this is what our government done. This administration took office, remember? We weren't supposed to say illegal immigrant. We were supposed to say undocumented immigrant.
Right.
And all of a sudden, things changed where this administration started saying illegal immigrant again. We brought it up, Doug, remember? Why are they saying illegal immigrant again? We weren't supposed to say that. Then it went back to undocumented. Then it went back to illegal immigrant. And this, that, and the other. Well, you know, what's the kid supposed to think? The government can say it, why can't he?
So even if the teacher thought it was not the right word, why didn't she just correct it and say, you know what, this is a better word to use?
But the problem is, it's not.
Correct. And then that conversation could have happened, but the conversation didn't happen. He got suspended and marked off for it, and it's going to be in his record.
It's a word that the government uses. Most governors of every state use. You know, it's a word that's widely used across the United States. It's not up to a teacher to say, I don't like that word. Or maybe she's far left. Illegal immigrant, it's undocumented, and they have every right to be in this country. One of them types. It doesn't matter. That word's not an illegal word.
Right. You're right.
Illegal immigrant is not banned in the United States, that phrase. The government is used. It's just like, for example, Facebook and everybody get all screwy over the word queer. Homosexuals, queer, whatever. Well, they made a fatal mistake of putting that in one of the bills. That word. Remember that, Doug?
Right.
So now you should be able to use the word queer. I tested it out on,
on the radio.
Don't you guys remember the football game where kids called Smear the Queer?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You got the ball, you were against everybody. You didn't have a teammate, Right.
And
I'd seen a guy post it on my friends, friends list, post, what was this game called? And da. People had different names, but we called it Smear the Queer. So I put it on it. I mean, I was hoping I'd get something from Facebook and I'd say, federal government used it in a word, used that word in a bill. So if they can use it, what? So you're telling me if that kid would say in his paper, queer, he shouldn't get marked off for that either.
Right.
The federal government used it in a bill that passed.
Right. And this guy went through all the terms he could have used. For example, undocumented citizen. They're not citizens. Dreamers. Well, like he said, I dream all the time.
Yeah.
I don't get anything for it. So far
They're
gone.
illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants. Them are the two terms you can use.
Don't
Could
forget.
have no repercussions. Period. None. 'Cause that's what the federal government has in bills and uses. They're in bills. You know. Yeah.
Well, speaking of bills, this will be my last thing. In Ohio,
Oh boy.
you're not going to believe this, but the bill's been reintroduced, House Bill 586, to create weirdo cat lovers of Cleveland license plate.
It's back.
It's it's back. Yeah, they're going to get this through somehow.
4
Who
years
knows?
later. 4 years later, it's back.
Right. So, do you think that we should spend time figuring out what the Ohio official fish should be?
I don't know what it is.
Well, I'll tell you what it's going to be. Thanks to Representative Brennan and Representative Swearingen, it's going to be the walleye. I just don't understand why we're even dealing with that when there's so many other things.
What
it can
was
be.
it?
Huh?
What was it?
Walleye.
What it used to be?
Oh, I have no idea. It says designate the walleye as the official fish. I don't know. Maybe it was goldfish. I don't know. I know who will know. Representative Swearingen. He's the one who's on this bill.
I'll ask him.
Let me see if we had something here.
Carp.
No, I guess we've never had a official fish of the state. Now we do. The first fish is walleye.
I need to put that hat back on, Cal. It's sitting up there in the fridge. Transmission.
Oh boy, here we
go. Transmission.
Yeah.
And listen, if you ask anybody that is transsexual, they'll tell you I'm a tranny. We got people kicked for saying weird. Boys are weird.
Yep. Barbara, if you can give me the House bill on that, because I'm not seeing it. I see where they want to prohibit executing death sentences by nitrogen.
Bruce Jenner fluid. Why would I don't know. You know, clear cut. If a guy commits a crime, goes on a stand and says, I did it, I'll take the consequences. Just put him to the chair or put him lethal injection. Why waste our tax money housing you?
I would have to agree with that.
You know,
mm-hmm.
These triple lives without parole or life with 100 years, you know, consecutive, not concurrent. Why are we bothering our time?
Right.
You know, wow, stick shift. That sounds familiar, don't it, Kel?
I'll look it up, Barb.
Identifies.
Race car.
All right. Unbelievable. You know, we're worried about fucking cat lovers, license plates, and
not just cat lovers, they're weirdo cat lovers.
How come they're allowed to use that term?
You got a good point there. I just thought about it.
That fucking term, weirdo cat lovers. But yet, we got people on the right side there, it's on my right, that put up boys are weird or this is weird. What do we have? 5 people that put that up and got zapped that night?
Yep.
We're not allowed to say it, but Lord forbid we can have fucking Ohio license plates running around weirdo cat lovers of Ohio.
Of Cleveland. Just Cleveland.
I'm sorry.
Because there's no weirdos of cat lovers anyplace else.
I know a few. So that'll be the next thing. There'll be a debate in Columbus over why is it just Cleveland? I'm a
Right.
weirdo cat lover, and I live in Sandusky.
You're just a weirdo.
Yeah, she said.
Awesome.
Jesus criminy. Never mind, the DNC was late on filing everything. Technically, Biden shouldn't even be on the ballot.
See, that's what I'm talking about. There's things that should be talked about, not the weirdo cat lovers of Cleveland, or what the official state fish should be. Is there an official state insect yet? Can you ask Swearingen if we could get the ant?
I'll tell you what, a couple weeks ago, it should have been a fucking mufflehead.
Oh, I bet. They came out.
Oh, man.
See, why don't we have something like that?
Because
we got a fish, we got a cookie.
I'm just an asshole. So much as. Yeah, what? Sugar cookie?
Yes. Glad you remembered that. Because that's important stuff.
Yes. I don't even care for sugar cookies that much unless they're homemade.
Do we have a tree? Buckeye. We have a bird.
Cardinal in it.
Yep.
We have a snake, Lake Erie water snake.
Is that the official?
I don't know. They were endangered. They're only endangered to people that never went to Lake Erie Island. If you lived on Lake Erie Island and worked over there, trust me, they weren't endangered. This little bastards too.
I bet.
I don't know what our plan is.
Orange barrel. Yeah, they plant them along the highway.
We got potholes that'll swallow a car. We need to pass a bill to fix them. Hold on. We got two bills we got to talk about first. The weirdo cat lovers of Cleveland and the sugar cookie.
Oh my gosh.
Just fill
Do
the
we have
bottle.
a state cake or anything?
I don't
Do we
know.
have a state gender yet?
No.
Official state gender.
No, that would be discriminatory.
Why? It's just making the walleyes discriminating against the rest of the fishies.
Gender X. That's a state. Gender X. Whatever the fuck that means.
Wow.
Here goes all the people that identify as furries. They're going to take off because the cat now got a license plate.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Whatever.
It is.
All right.
We're going to try to get back on track next week.
Try.
I'm just go with the flow.
For last month, it's been rough.
As you can tell, I'm red. That is actual. This is all red.
It's been either Doug's been busy or I've been occupied.
Yeah.
All right, people.
This is a good one too.
Yeah. Yeah. No shit. I mean, but seriously, stop and think about it. Is anybody seeing more road work, bridges, infrastructure being done this year than any of the last 8 years?
No, and you got to take the turnpike out because that's privately owned.
It's privately owned.
So no.
Well, turnpike commissions pay for their own. So,
right.
All right. Thanks for watching. What, next Monday, Doug?
Yeah, we're gonna try it Monday. You want to go to 8?
8 o'clock next Monday.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
He's good. All right, people. Thanks for watching. See you next Monday at 8. God bless you and God bless America.
See ya.